Breece Hall still struggling a bit, according to his head coach. Not something that you want to hear if you're a Breece Hall owner. And the fact that this team looks so bad offensively, I don't know if we'll see in week number 15 what we expected to see in week 14 with Braylon Allen, Davis, whoever you feel is the main guy to own there. It definitely is a committee of sorts, but there's a small chance that Braylon does something this week or Davis does something this week that is significant, something we expected last week. But is it something you can count on? The answer is no. Will Breece Hall be shut down for the season? It's trending that way if you ask me, even if we're not hearing that kind of information. Same thing with Walker. Walker seeking a specialist for his calf, seeking further testing for his calf. Not something that you hear ahead of him playing in week 15. He's almost certainly out week 15, which means Zach Charbonnet is going to be dialed up for...
Good Charbonnet. Pop open a nice bottle of Charbonnet.
Gonna be dialed up for another amazing game. Zach Charbonnet ready to win leagues potentially for people. And as I've said over and over, there's always one or two or three players that do something so unbelievably significant in week 17, 16, sometimes 15. Those last 2-3 weeks, it's wild what can win you a league. These handcuffs as an example, Jerry Jeudy as another example, players like that. It always happens in weeks 15, 16, 17, or at least 16 and 17. Heroes come out of nowhere. And right now, Garendo, if he can play week 15, he did practice on a limited basis. We'll talk about that in a minute. Garendo, Charbonnet, Jeudy, a couple other players, Jennings even. These are potential heroes for the remaining part of the 2024 fantasy football season, the playoffs. Let's ride. File in. Hit that like button. Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern. We're live every single Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern. Live additionally whenever big news breaks, and live a lot of graveyard shifts. We built this Smitty on graveyard shows. The fantasy football show begins right now. File on in.
From the FantasyFootballShow.com studios, it's the Fantasy Football Show. Live! Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern. Smitty is also live whenever news breaks.
From the FantasyFootballShow.com news desk, here is your breaking news.
Yeah, I mean, Johnny, you're right. We were all very sad when Charbonnet went to Seattle. Yeah, I think Johnny's right. Smitty had to shut down the stream. He was so beside himself. Imagine if he got 15 to 17 times. Yeah, look, this is what's so funny when people go on and go, "Oh, Smitty, you just got on the Charbonnet train." It's like,
Get Charbonnet. Pop open a nice bottle of Charbonnet.
this is his college photo. Like we made this before he was drafted, but yeah, what a player, what a prospect. We were so excited. We were as excited about Charbonnet as we were Breece Hall. We were as excited about Charbonnet as we were Jahmyr Gibbs. To be quite frank. But dropping into that situation in Seattle was a nut kick, and he became a great cuff. But now we're finally seeing what we always wanted to see. And as much as we love Walker, it is what it is. I hope Walker gets traded to a place that can use him, that will use him, that won't use him, improperly, because it feels like they don't use Walker properly. It feels like they don't use him like they use Charbonnet when Charbonnet is called upon. You also got to wonder, though, if Charbonnet gets cemented in, let's just say, in a fairy tale world, the trade deadline didn't pass, and they could trade Walker right now, or Walker gets abducted by aliens safely and returned to us next year. Either way, you want to look at it. Walker, would Charbonnet, if he's the cemented in starter, start getting misused? I don't know. But all I know is he looks fantastic right now, and he's league winning. Absolutely league winning. Let me get some of these other pieces of news. We got so much news to go over. Let's start with the Walker stuff since we're on that topic. Walker Cav did not practice on Wednesday. There's definitely, I know Theo says Walker isn't getting shut down. You don't know that, Theo. You have no clue. No offense, but you have no clue. No one has a clue. This is something that's in the cards. Not saying that it's even being floated right now, but read the tea leaves, my boy. He's seeking out different treatments. He's getting further testing. Like this Cavs situation isn't good. And they're potentially exploring, in my mind, when I break it down the way I break it down, they're exploring, what if we don't play him for a couple weeks? Then what happens when you get 3 weeks deeper into this thing? Now, Seattle's a playoff team, contending team. If they make it into the playoffs, then he wouldn't get shut down for the entirety of the year. But would they shut him down and get him healthy for the playoffs? Theo, the answer is they might. You don't know. You have no clue. This is not the makings of a he's coming back and playing this week situation. The tea leaves don't read that way, Theo. Get a grip. Hang tight on more Walker news. We should have a lot more in the coming days. This is just an interesting stat, to be honest. Marvin Harrison Jr. hasn't dropped a pass since week 1. He is so misused. This is one of the most misused players in the National Football League. And Kyler Murray and the play calling, Arizona in general, is to blame. It's not him. He is going to be one of the most sought after buy low players in fantasy walking into 2025 because the cost of entry is going to be so far downstream of what it was walking into 2024 drafts. Like he was a 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 overall pick. We're not going to have to go near that kind of value. So he will be absolutely one of the better buy lows. Even if he disappointed you, I know you're pissed off at him, whatever the case may be, he's going to be one player we're attacking left and right walking into 2025. I can tell you that right now. This man right here, Justin Jefferson, screaming at the top of his lungs, him and Addison, after they worked over a defense for a combined 265 and 5 TDs on Sunday. JJ started screaming, best duo in the league, best duo in the league, the best duo in the league. He kept yelling it over and over, 3 times. Look, Darnold, you got him, you start him. These receivers, Addison's a must play. There's no Addison question this week, guys. Hey, do I start Addison? No, stop. Put him in your lineup. He's absolutely straight balling. And Addison's a monster go forward. And I can't wait to rank him for next year. Bucky Irving, hip back, did not practice on Wednesday. It's not trending in the right direction. I'm not going to say he's, out of the equation for week 15, but it's not feeling right. Mike Evans, hamstring, did not practice on Wednesday. Not saying he's out of the equation for this week, but it's not trending in the right direction, at least. I wouldn't even say he's on the wrong side of 50-50, but it sucks we're even at that point where we're breaching a 50-50 potential decision. Ladd McConkey, knee shoulder, was limited in Wednesday's practice. He's trending a little bit in the right direction with the limited session. So Ladd McConkey, we'll have more to come on that, but a lot of you are going to have dilemmas. Would you go with Ladd, who's a little questionable, even if he's going to play, let's say, over somebody like Judy or Jennings or a Charbonnet, and we start talking all that. And, of course, I'm starting Charbonnet, but, that will be a often asked question in those around those lines. Jalen Waddle was limited in Wednesday's practice with a hamstring. This guy has soft tissue issue after soft tissue issue. This is why I've never loved Jalen Waddle as some sort of wide receiver 1. Never felt like he was going to be. Never feel like he will be. He's always overdrafted. I said stay away from him almost entirely walking into this year because he crept back into the second round. The year prior, second round pick. He went number 13, 14 overall 1 year ago. Well, 2 seasons ago. Not this past draft season, but the draft season before that. So not this year. Last year, he went 13, 14 overall. It was head-scratching. I do like him. He can blow up at any moment. This is a 140-yard and a touchdown receiver like that. T. Higgins, same thing. But are T. Higgins and Waddle elite wide receiver ones. I don't think they're elite wide receiver ones. I think they're fantastic players. I think they're maybe Jameson Williams type players for sure. And Jamo's good. Don't even try and crap on that statement because Jamo is a baller. Jamo can bring 100 yards and a touchdown to any given game. He could also get himself kicked out of the league in a year or two. That's the other thing that comes with Jameson Williams. He's a head case. CeeDee Lamb. CeeDee mother freaking Lamb. Lamb chops, limited in practice, shoulder. This is a song and dance. At least the back isn't on there. The foot or the ankle or the quads or the glutes. At least we just got a shoulder injury sitting there in a parenthesis right there. But CeeDee Lamb limited. He always is healthy or not healthy, but taken off the injury report, walking into Friday, Saturday, and he's always back on it in the Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday territory. But he looked really good last week. Rush is getting him the ball at least. So, I'm feeling like, is he top 5 overall material right now? No. But is he a must start? Yeah, he still is. Trent Williams will not play week 15. Another bad sign. And remember what I said last week? Guerendo is a playmaker, a breakaway touchdown getter, a monster. 4.3 speed, just an absolute gem. Just like a little Christian McCaffrey, just kind of seed planted, and we're watching it blossom. How big will it get? We don't know. But he had the ability to overcome this, right? I'm not saying Patrick Taylor isn't a good play. He's a must-grab player. Make sure Patrick Taylor is not on waivers. If Guerendo sits, he will be the next starter, the next man up. That is the cuffing situation. The reason this is third and not first is because the cuff Taylor isn't as powerful as the cuff Sharps and Corum, etc. That's the cuff board. It's not the starter board. It's the cuff board. And so Taylor's good, but he's not as good or near as good. And the problem is, this man being out, you need somebody with the 4.3 speed, the breakaway ability, the ability to say, I don't even care if Trent's there, watch me fly downfield. That's Guerendo. I like Patrick Taylor. Could he get in the end zone twice, have 80 total yards? Yeah, sure. So we will have dilemmas with Patrick Taylor, and he's a good play. But not having Trent Williams is not good for a little bit lesser of an option, a less speedster type option. Now, the question is, will Guerendo play? I'm not suggesting Guerendo won't play. Guerendo, questionable for week 15, did get a limited session in today, but he plays tomorrow. Today is Wednesday. Tomorrow's Thursday Night Football. The Niners play Thursday Night Football, and this guy's got this short turnaround. Horrible luck. So we don't know, but a limited session was pretty good news. It's a mild foot sprain. It's not a bad foot sprain. It's not considered to be a Liz Frank or anything like that. It is a mild foot sprain. Guerendo himself came out and said right after the game, I feel great, that the testing is precautionary. That the testing revealed that it was a mild, not a severe, a mild foot sprain, but they're playing it kind of, very gentle, because this is literally their last superstar at the running back position left. Patrick Taylor's nice. He's decent. Okay? But Guerendo is explosive. He's a league winner. Not only in fantasy, he's a playoff, get me back into the playoff mix type of talent that the Niners need right now. So, more to come on that. We have no clue whether he's going to play. You can ask me 10,000 ways to Sunday if Guerendo's going to play. I don't know. No one does. We're just kind of in a waiting, holding pattern. This cough is going to be lingering for another day or two. I can sense it. It's not even that big of a deal. It's like just an irritation, and then you just cough. It's like I don't even need to cough. I feel fine. It just. It's like just a tickle in the throat that just gets you every time. Saints interim coach told reporters on, I believe this was today, that Chris Olave's concussion is unlikely to return from injured reserve this week. Doesn't feel like something that they want to mess with for the remainder of the year. Like Hall and Walker have the threat of being shut down, so does obviously Olave. And even if he returned, what would we expect? Can anybody expect anything from him yet? I don't think so. And honestly, walking into 2025 and beyond, I don't think I want anything to do with Olave. I love the guy, but he is a walking concussion, and I don't think it's going to get better. Kamara illness did not practice on Wednesday. Probably going to see him play. I don't think this is something that's going to hold him back, but we'll have more information on that if anything gets worse or better, and I imagine it will get better, not worse. Malik Neighbors' hip was limited in Wednesday's practice. Was supposed to be limited during the game on Sunday, and he was not really limited at all, it appeared. And I think the numbers suggest that. So Neighbors, he's working through a bunch of different injuries. He's banged up. He's getting fed hospital balls for a living. Hey, Neighbors, what do you do for a living? Are you a receiver? Well, I mean, you could categorize my position as a wide receiver, but what I like to describe my position as is I'm a hospital ball catcher. I catch hospital balls for a living is what I do. That's what Malik Neighbors does. And it puts him in a vulnerable position. It puts him in a very injury-prone state that is not of his doing, his makeup, his genetic makeup. The DNA of the man isn't causing him to be an injury risk. It's his situation that he lives in. Just like Puka Nacua isn't an injury-prone specimen. He puts himself, Puka Nacua, in some of the worst positions body-wise, like stretching out, landing on his arms, letting his knees hit the ground really hard because he's laying out for a ball that a lot of people wouldn't absolutely level themselves in the air to go get. You know, Puka is going to always have a little bit more injury risk because of the positions he puts himself in. And Neighbors is a reverse, an inverse of that. He's always going to be an injury risk until he has a great quarterback that doesn't feed him hospital ball after hospital ball. Hey, here you go. And not only is he getting fed hospital balls, he's getting fed footballs that if he doesn't lay himself out for, you know, and it's not even something he's going to get leveled on, i.e. hospital ball, it's just a bad errant pass that he's got to stretch out and land on his hips, do what Puka does, let the knees just kind of smash against each other and hit the ground. And you know, people look at football sometimes and they forget how hard the ground is. They think, oh, this is like a soft, you know, cushion, right? Because these guys are literally laying out. This is like cement at times. And people don't realize that when these guys lay their bodies on the line to go grab a football, try and keep their knees in bounds, and Puka's just getting absolute, you know, smashed. I'm sorry, Neighbors. Both of them are. But Puka's, a lot of it is self-inflicted. Keon Coleman, practicing in full for Week 15. This is good news. Kincaid is also practicing in full. Or if he's not practicing in full, he's practicing. I think he is in full as well. But both those guys should be suiting up for Week 15. Tommy DeVito will start Week 15 against the Ravens, talking about the hospital balls and how they get delivered. Tommy DeVito is one of the guys that will be delivering. It's just QB carousel, you know. Jalen Hurts, finger, was listed as a full participant in Wednesday's practice or Wednesday's walkthrough. And keep in mind that Hurts and AJB are going through a beef. I've got a video up on it last night. We did that. I got to let a big old cough out. 1 second. I think we got it. I think we got a good 5 minutes out of that one. You know when you get a good cough when you've been struggling through a cold or a flu or a whatever, a pandemic, and you get that cough, you know it's going to buy you at least 5 or 7 minutes of absolutely no coughing. That's what I got right there, some relief. Anyway, this little situation in Philly, trouble in Philly, it's wild. It's absolutely wild. Especially it all being aired out in front of everybody, the dirty laundry from other teammates, even having conversations with the media, doing podcast interviews and saying that, you know, 11, he's not really willing to work on things like Hurts is, you know, putting a lot of blame publicly on A.J. Brown, which, you know, rightly so. I think if you're going to air dirty laundry about something, you at least let it be honest and truthful. And this A.J. Brown is absolutely straight, you know, in diva mode. He has a right to be upset that the passing attack isn't, you know, showering him with production and targets, but at the same time, you should be worried about winning. And the team is coming together. The team is doing great things. The team is still winning. The team is still one of the biggest threats in the NFC by far. Top 3 threat, even with all the troubles and ups and downs. Barkley's running out of his, absolutely out of his mind right now. Hurts is still scoring tons of fantasy points. Don't let this turmoil have you benching AJB or benching Jalen Hurts in very weird situations. Stop overthinking it just because there's trouble in paradise. They're still scoring. If you remember last year, Jalen Hurts had a very bad year, and it was still a fantastic fantasy football season. It was still top 3. It was still Jalen Hurts year after year is an absolute marvel. In 2023, he was QB2 even with a off year. 15 rushing touchdowns last year. The year prior, 13 rushing touchdowns. Here's his rushing line. This guy was a top 6 quarterback 11 times out of the year. He was a top 10 quarterback 13 times, 81% of the time. And last year was an off year. He was QB2. So don't get cute. Start your studs. Finger. It's fine for the most part. He always plays banged up, but he can always get you 2 rushing touchdowns like that. And I do believe that the squeaky wheel may just get the oil, and we might see A.J. Brown have a day. I could see this getting patched up through production. So hang tight on that. And if you got any Jalen Hurts questions, you probably really don't. You think you do, but you don't. George Pickens' hamstring did not practice on Wednesday and fully expected to miss this game. Coming from Tomlin, very unlikely to play was almost the terminology used. So that's don't even think that you're getting any sort of George Pickens action in week 15. That's all the news as of right now. We've got super chats to get to. We got John dropping a $20 hauler. You straight monster, John. Let's hit that $20 hauler.
Alert. Super chat alert.
$20 super chat. $20 super chat.
That's my boy John coming in strong. Says, I need to start 4 in half PPR. Shakir, Waddle, Higgins, Thielen, DJ Moore, Judy, Collins, Kupp. Thanks. It's Cooper Kupp. It's Collins. It's Judy without hesitation. Your really only dilemma is, do you go Higgins or do you go DJ Moore or do you go Thielen? Thielen's pretty consistent right now, he feels, right? You only have 3 games left in fantasy football playoffs, and you don't have to worry about Thielen holding up for a whole year at 87 years old. So he's a very steady pick. I think I go Higgins personally. I think a bounce back is in order for Higgins. So chat, do you go Thielen, Higgins, or DJ Moore? Please vote on that one specific combo there. Appreciate you dropping the $20 hauler. $20 haulers get immediate attention. In order in which they were received, McBride injury, should I stash Henry or Kraft? Yeah, that news kind of crept up here right before we started the show. Trey McBride knee was limited in Wednesday's practice. McBride popped up on the injury report with the knee issue Wednesday. He was able to practice at a limited capacity, indicating the issue is minor. I'm not worried about it. If I had to stash somebody or I wanted to just grab the best of the available guys, even to play a little defense, I'm going to go Kraft. I think Kraft is a great pickup and would be a good plan of attack if things go awry. And things could, but for right now, I'd say I'm not worried. Need 2 PPR worthy. Akine, Tillman, Dell, Braylon Allen, and Keon Coleman. Let's wait on Braylon Allen because of the Breece Hall news that he's still struggling. I probably would say Akine's a lock. Keon Coleman's very intriguing this week. Worthy's also about the same kind of risk upside level. I think this comes down to, does Braylon Allen get some sort of news like, hey, Davis is banged up, Braylon Allen's going to get a bulk of the work, and they're going to really try and test the rookie out. Then you get a little bit more sense that what we wanted last week, we might get this week, and you get a 2-touchdown affair out of Braylon Allen, and we're all expecting it to go awry because it didn't go the way we wanted in week number 14. It is what it is. But Akine's locked in. I don't care if he didn't score his touchdown last week. He almost did. He was targeted. It could have happened, and it didn't. I think Worthy and Akine for now, Senior Rojo, but you open mind to Braylon Allen. It's not like you have the best options there. Those are tough options. Flex, Neighbors, Tracy, Pacheco, or Patrick Taylor if he plays. Tracy is probably the safest play here. I still like Neighbors. I still like Pacheco a lot. I think Pacheco eventually does take this job for you, from those other guys, maybe in the final week or two. But we kind of need to see it. Patrick Taylor is a good play, but it is Thursday night. There's no Trent Williams. I don't know. I think I go Tracy to be safe. But Big Al, bring this to us again on Saturday night, But I think I would forego Patrick Taylor for Tracy at this moment in time with the Thursday game. MHJ, I do like Patrick Taylor, though. We will be cheering him on. We will be starting him in a lot of scenarios, just maybe not the Tracy scenario. MHJ or Hall if he plays. If Hall's going to play and he's not going to be limited, I'm starting Breece Hall. If not, MHJ is the answer. $20 hauler from Will. Will says, Smitty, I want immediate attention, and immediate attention you shall get.
Alert. Super chat alert.
Will, thanks for the dedication this year, Smitty, and getting me this far. No one doing it like this show. Appreciate you in the comments. Quick running back wide receiver question for this week. How you ranking JT, Pollard, Sharps with no K9? Sharps, then tier break. He is that good. He is that solid. JT, the matchup, I probably still go JT over Pollard. Some might not, and I understand that, and I honestly could get behind that. I could honestly convince myself, if I had to flip the script on myself, that Pollard is a safer play. But I'm going to go with Sharps, then I'm going JT in that order. And then Jaden Reed versus Waddle. Waddle being banged up, bro, it concerns me. But Reed obviously crapped the bed in week 14, and everyone doesn't want anything to do with him. But sometimes that's when Reed flips that script on everybody, and he goes and blows up and has a 2 TD game. I think that if Waddle's deemed healthy walking in, we start Waddle. If we're worried and he's still banged up and there's no clarity there, it's just kind of ambiguous, he'll probably be active, he's going to play, I might go Reed. And I understand it's not for everybody, but that's kind of the way I see the situation and the risk levels on all sides, because there's risk with all of it. Kyler versus New England or Stafford versus the Niners. Give me Stafford, even though it's a Thursday game. I don't trust Kyler Murray right now, but it's a good matchup for Kyler, honestly. I think it will be a pretty decent day, hopefully, but I'd rather trust Stafford with his weapons. Yo, Smitty, 2 leagues. First league, full PPR, 2 wide receivers, 1 flex, Metcalf, Neighbors, Garendo, Jennings. If Garendo plays, you play Garendo. That's easy. And then your 2 wide receivers would be Metcalf and probably Jennings and Metcalf are safe plays. And then if Garendo doesn't play, then it's easy for you. You got it set. Second league is 0.5, Sincere McCormick, Braylon Allen, or Patrick Taylor. I'd probably go Patrick Taylor for now. And then obviously if Garendo plays, then you go over to Braylon. I don't know if I'm ready to go Sincere McCormick yet. I like him a lot, but Braylon is probably the guy. But if we get some news that that it's not going to be Braylon, that they're going to use Braylon, but not as much as you would think, then we swing over to Sincere McCormick. Like, we're really news dependent on that second question, Skyward. Appreciate you dropping the super chat. We got a $50 hauler in the building from What's the Word? What's the Word? Appreciate you.
Alert. Super chat alert. Alert. Super chat alert.
Yeah, buddy. Appreciate you. Smitty, my man, need your advice for 2 calls in the playoffs this week and maybe beyond. Purdy or Mahomes? I don't know. This is tough because I do think the Niners are kind of getting into a rhythm a little bit, but no Trent Williams, Thursday night football. If Garendo plays, I lean toward a 50-50 thing, but if Guerrero doesn't play, I'd rather have Mahomes. 3 wide receiver league, do I choose between Myers, Neighbors, Keenan Allen, Ladd, and Coleman? I'm gonna go 3 wide receiver league. Who do I choose between? Neighbors, Keenan Allen, and Ladd. And then if Ladd doesn't play, then you're probably gonna go with Coleman, I suppose, as long as he's starting. But that's an easy call for those wide receivers, bro. Those guys are your boys. Ladd, Neighbors, and Keenan Allen. Keenan Allen's been playing well too. I think it's a pretty self-explanatory situation. Appreciate your $50 holler, my man. If you got a follow-up, let me know. Mr. T, Dell, Sincere McCormick, Elijah Moore, Braylon Allen, Kraft, Holland, Shepard, McMillan. Probably, honestly, Elijah Moore is probably your safest play. That's weird to say. I like McMillan a lot, but I don't know yet. I'd probably say Elijah Moore is your safe play. You want a big risk, big reward, but you're willing to get 0 points, McMillan, I guess. Thank you for all your efforts this year. Currently in 8th place in the Patreon League Crew 2, 22-man best ball is wild. Thank you, Mr. T. Appreciate you. Timothy, okay, wise guy, earn $10. Set my lineup, says Timothy. Fantasy playoff. QB, 2 running back, 2 wide receivers, a tight end, and a flex. Tua, Love, Jacobs, Achane, Breece. I mean, you're waiting some of this news, my boy. As far as your starts now, like let's say Breece plays, it's going to be Jacobs, Achane, and Breece all going into your lineup. One of those being your flex play. Your wide receivers will be Higgins and JSN, and Bowers is the guy I start. McBride, Bowers. You want to talk about wise guys, Timothy. What are you doing hanging on to Bowers and McBride all year and let the trade deadline pass? That is probably your biggest crutch here, is you not upgrading one of these spots somewhere, like your QB spot, or making this, wide receiver dilemma easier for you by sitting on McBride and Bowers. Like, that's the crazy part. And you've got such good flex potential that it's hard to start McBride and Bowers and say, well, I'll just throw one of my flex. You can't even really do that. I suppose if Breece Hall doesn't play, Achane, Jacobs are your starting running backs, and then you could go McBride, Bowers, Higgins, and JSN. Waddle's banged up, so I don't know if I go there. Reed I like, but you don't even need a risky play like that. And your quarterback, you kind of got to go Tua this week, but it's a close call. Love and Tua is a close call. Tua's been playing very well. I think you probably start him. But, I mean, good God. I mean, hanging on to those 2 tight ends all year is just wild. Playoff choices, QB, Nix, Winston, Stafford. I'm probably going to go Bo Nix, personally. Wide receiver flex, choose 3. Jennings, Neighbors, D-Hop, MHA, Braylon Allen, Rashad White. Probably Rashad White. Probably Jennings. And then I guess I would go... I'd go Neighbors, I suppose. Neighbors or Hopkins. Guys, can you vote on that? Neighbors or Hopkins, please, for the 3rd spot. For James. Thank you, James. Appreciate you. Start 2 and flex 2. Kyron, Breece, Guerrero. If all 3 are playing, you're playing all 3, obviously. And then your 4th player is probably going to be, if it were me, it'd be Keenan. And if Breece and Guerrero don't play, you're probably playing Patrick Taylor, and you're probably then playing MVS, I suppose. Jonathan, it's news dependent. We can't answer that yet, but you've got a lot of decisions ahead of you based on the news coming in. But we'll hit the news and then reattack it. So ask me again later. Pick 2, Addison, Judy, Neighbors, Jennings this week. I'm going Addison without a hesitation and Judy without a hesitation. They're playing too good. You can't sit those guys. Even if it ends up being the wrong answer, it wasn't the wrong call. Start 1. Davis, Braylon, McCormick, Patrick Taylor. If Taylor starts, I'll probably start Taylor over those options. Love or Winston? I'm going to go Love. I think Love is capable of having a huge day. Pick 3, Puka, Evans, Wilson, T, Jennings. I'm going to go with Puka, obviously. Evans, personally, if he plays, but he's banged up, so you got to watch that. If he looks limited or something, then you got to pull that decision. And I'd probably say Garrett Wilson, but Jennings if Evans doesn't play. I'd probably go Garrett Wilson. Such a tough call. Follow up, I take it if you don't like, I don't like Myers. It's not that I don't like Myers, he's not going to get the nod for me in that situation. No. Doesn't mean I don't like him, though. Start 2 wide receivers and 1 flex. Debo, Tillman, DK, Braylon. I'm going DK, and you got to go Debo because it's not like you've got great options. Your flex is probably even going to be wild. It's going to be Braylon if you hear good news on Braylon. If not, I go Dell. I go Dell, Debo, DK. But you can only put Braylon in for Dell if you hear something positive, like, hey, Taylor's banged up. Braylon's going to get more work, like that kind of stuff. Thanks for being awesome all season, sir. Need 2 wide receivers and 1 flex. T. Huggins, London, Addison, Garendo. So Garendo plays, you're going Garendo as your flex play. Addison's a lock, and I'd probably go with London or T. Higgins or Tracy. And obviously, you'd go with 2 of those guys if Garendo doesn't play. But guys, can we rank London, Tracy, and Higgins, please? London, Tracy, Higgins, please rank those bad boys in order. London, Tracy, Higgins, go. I want at least 5 to 10 votes on this one. London, Higgins, Tracy, vote, please. A vote, please. Start 3, Devontae Smith, London, Garrett Wilson, Quentin Johnson. Your first 3, bro. I mean, Quentin Johnson, you can't rely on Quentin Johnson, bro. Here's some of the votes coming in. London, Higgins, Tracy. Higgins, Tracy, London. Higgins, Tracy, London. Higgins, London, Tracy. Look, I would say based on the fact that the entire chat, they had the order different, but the same 3, that's probably your answer. The majority of the chat is saying those are your 3 guys. Sharps, Pollard, Isaac Rendo, DJ Moore, start 2, PPR, and Denver, Philly, probably Philly. I would say, Isaac Rendo, if he plays, you're playing Grendo, and then Sharps. And if Grendo doesn't play, Pollard's probably your safe bet, Josh. He's getting good volume. He's getting really good volume. All right, hit me with a few phone calls. Go. Quick 10-second calls.
Call into the show. Call into the show.
10-second calls. I'm not doing full team evals. You ask, you get hung up on just because we don't have time to dilly-dally on a whole roster right now. Hill, Higgins, Addison, J-Mo, Devontae Smith, or Reed pick 3. I'm going to go Addison. I'm going to go J-Mo, and probably Higgins or D. Smith. Vote on that one, guys. Higgins or D. Smith. I think I go Higgins personally. I think that's just my preference, but it's very, very, very close. Freddie, you're live. What can I do for you, Freddie? Keep it quick.
Hey, I know you said you would start Stafford over Kyler Murray, but would you start MHJ or Akina in the place?
Probably MHJ, but it's not an easy call, bro. Akine's nice, but MHJ. I think the Cardinals find a way to have a big game, but Kyler is not consistent, and I definitely wouldn't trust Kyler, fully. But I think with a receiver spot, that stat that MHJ hasn't dropped a ball since week 2 is pretty good. Like it, but they just misuse him. But I like MHJ. It's close.
Okay. All right, man. Thank you.
All right, Freddie. Trust your gut, bro, because I'm almost forcing an answer. It's that close. Max says 0.5 PPR start. Hopkins, Thielen, Sincere this week. I think Thielen's a safe call. He's just getting a lot of volume. Bucky out. I need to start either McCormick, Bigsby, or Tyrone Tracy. I would say Tracy is your safe play, bro. Like, pretty easy. The volume's there for him. Okay. Jordan, you got to call in with less background noise, my boy. Cap, you're live.
Okay, but we have to look at it through this lens, in this perspective. If Atlanta still has a shot to do something, wouldn't they want to force it towards more London than Tracy? Because Higgins is pretty much they're pretty much toast. They're done. But I mean, Tracy, yeah, like you said, the production's going to be there, the value's going to be there. But don't you think they're going to try to force it more towards London if they still have a chance, or are they mathematically?
The way you talk about it's like they're all on the same team. Like, don't you think because of Atlanta's situation, they're going to give it to London over Tracy? Like, these guys don't play on the same team, bro. I mean, I do think London will be force-fed, but they haven't been connecting, bro. You know, it doesn't, like, you think just because the Falcons want to win that Kirk Cousins is just going to turn things around because they need him to? He might, but I'm just, you ask me, I'm going to tell you Tracy's a bit safer, but I didn't necessarily say I wouldn't start London. London was in the three. He was in the trio of players. It was Higgins, Tracy, London, and London and Tracy both got the vote. So what are you even talking about?
So the question is, do we want the safe or do we want the upside?
That's the question you always have to answer for yourself. I don't know what you need. If you need a big swing, bro, you got to go with the high risk, high reward play, probably. But I don't even know if you could call London a high reward play right now. I think he has the capability of it. But Kirk Cousins looks like dog water, bro.
Yeah, he does. He does.
Doesn't matter what you want or what you need or what they should be doing. Like, we're talking about Tracy's getting volume, so that there is some safety to that. But I'm not saying I don't love London, though. Like, again, you came in hot on a question where London and Tracy both got the vote, so I don't know what you're talking about.
I had to spice it up, bro. We had like maybe 22 people going left and right, so we had to narrow it down.
Okay. All right. What else you got, bro?
That's it.
All right. My boy, appreciate you.
Hasta la pasta, everybody.
All right, call back if you got another one later. Cody from Fresno.
I secured 2 first-round buys in three out of my leagues. So,
attaboy.
You're the man, Smitty. Appreciate that.
Attaboy.
The McBride news, I'm only riding with McBride, and so I'm a little spooked with the injury. Should I drop a couple players to pick up either Noah Fant, Schultz, likely? Anyone from out of those names sound good as a backup option, or should I roll with McBride?
Well, I mean, I just roll with McBride, but the only name that comes to mind that I think could have weird relevance that no one's expecting is likely if Andrews were to get hurt. But we only have 3 games, left, so it's hard to play that game too much. But if Andrews went down, likely would be utilized a ton. So that's
the hard part is I've got Sharps on the bench. I've got Bucky, I've got Warren, I've got Benson, so it's hard to drop anyone, but I want to roll with McBride. I just hope he stays healthy.
Yeah, I agree. All right.
I appreciate you, Smitty.
All right, later, bro.
Later.
Evans, London, or Hubbard for flex, wide receiver 2. If Hubbard's the safest call, if Evans proves to be ready to rumble with no limitations, I think I would start Evans over all 3 in that trio, the trio. But I would say Hubbard for right now seems the safest, and he's like the only running back they have. Thanks for everything you do, Smitty. The handcuff board wins leagues. Atta baby. Of course it does. The handcuff board has absolutely won leagues or gotten people far. Like, it's so funny. People are like, cuffs, I'd rather just draft another player and have another shot. Like, sure, the cuff, you don't cuff everybody. There are certain cuffs that they're not even necessarily needed to be cuffs. They're standalone players. Like the Garendo and Mason call all year was, you didn't need to have Christian McCaffrey. In fact, it was better if you didn't have Christian McCaffrey. QB, Herbert or Murray, probably Murray this week. Neighbors, Coleman, or Waddle. I'm probably going to go Neighbors, even though Neighbors and Waddle are both banged up. you got to monitor the news to kind of know which one is a little bit more risky, and then we maybe take a detour based on the news. And then Handed Hands, appreciate you. JMO versus Buffalo or Debo. I'm going JMO. JMO's going to have, in my opinion, another one of those big monster games. Go ahead, Rob from New Jersey. You're live.
Hey, Smitty. So I'm up in the air. I'm trying to see if I. So you said you'd start Wilson over Jennings and Higgins this week?
No, not really. I mean, I go back and forth. I wouldn't say I've cemented that in. I think. Yeah. I think Garrett Wilson's a tough play. You know, even having you read that back, I don't know. I think Higgins could have a really nice day. Jennings is safe. Yeah. You know, he might be the safest call. But like Garrett Wilson could have a big day at any moment, bro. Like, you know, let's not kid ourselves. He's capable of 100 yards and eight receptions, 100 yards. But yeah, Jennings is probably safer. I'll retract that. Probably Higgins may be the most upside, but Jennings is maybe the right combination of them all. The upside, the safety, the situation. But it is Thursday night, and that's probably what made me hesitate, because Thursday kicks us in the nutsack almost every time. You know, who knows? I think, you know, let's answer this tomorrow. But for some reason, I want to go Jennings, or I want to go Higgins so bad. I think he's gonna pop off this 20-something yard game that he just had. I don't know. And he's fighting for money. He's fighting for his contract. I don't know, man.
I need a big game because I'm losing, and we had our playoffs for a good 2-week playoff. So we had the first round last week, and I'm down by like 25.
Jennings is safe. Higgins is a little riskier, but Higgins has a little bit more upside for, like, you know, a huge game. All right, later, bro.
Who would you start? Oh, wait, one last question. Winston or Herbert this week?
Who?
Winston or Herbert?
Probably Winston for now. I hate that answer, though.
Yeah.
All right, later, bro.
Appreciate it.
559 caller. What's your name and where you calling from?
Hey, it's Felipe. I'm from Fresno.
What's up, Felipe? What can I do for you?
Just a quick question, Smitty. I want to see which three to start. I got Mixon, Jacobs, Charles, and Bijan.
Mixon, Jacobs, Sharps, and Bijan.
Correct.
I mean, you can't sit Bijan. You can't sit Mixon. So it comes down to Jacobs and Charbonnet. And that is almost a near impossible question to answer. Jacobs has been
I kind of just feel like he's going with the studs, you know, just going with Jacobs, riding him. I mean, he's been killing it the last couple weeks.
Sharps is like a top 10 running back play, but like so are all three of those other guys. I'd probably say Jacobs has earned this. I know Sharps is hard to sit here. Man, that is a tough call. Let me pull up a couple things real quickly. I don't know. Chat, vote on that one. Charbonnet or Jacobs. And keep in mind, Jacobs had 3 touchdowns last week. Didn't he have 3?
Yeah, he had 3.
He had 3.
He would have had 4, but they had
So before we act like Jacobs doesn't, you know, get the nod here based on what he's been doing week in and week out, Sharps is a really nice play. Like, there's no doubt about it. But I mean, damn, man. I guess I would say, I mean, they face each other, which is even harder.
They're playing in Seattle.
Yeah. Give me Jacobs by a hair. But this is something that I would love to debate later. Okay? Don't lock it in. That's the night game too. That's the night game too. That's fantastic. All right, later, bro. Hang tight, guys. Let me get these super chats out of the way. Judy or D Hop, give me Judy. Judy's been on fire. You can't sit, Judy. Sharps is a PPR hybrid beast. He won me week 3. Of course he did. Celtics, and he's an absolute must start unless you have that guy's running backs in a grandma league. KCD versus Cleveland or Commanders. Give me the Commanders, D. Give me the Commanders, D. I think they're a really good play this week. Seahawks coach said Walker is day-to-day, and there's a positive signs that it isn't long-term. Does that change your view? Kevin, I already got it all handled, my guy. I mean, the reports and everything we're talking about, it's all considered. But he's had further testing. He's not 100%. Do they shut him down? I don't know the answer to that. I'm saying this has hints of where we see these things go, and it's something to monitor. No one's saying that a report has happened that he's getting shut down. So all of this is known. There's nothing new that you're reporting here. He is day-to-day, but he's also getting and had further tests on his calf because things haven't gotten to the right place yet for him to go out there and play football. So I'd almost say it's almost a guarantee. Nothing's a guarantee. Almost a guarantee that Sharp starts this week. And they don't test it with Walker. Day to day, this is week to week being disguised as day to day is the only thing I know for certainty. And if they run him out there with a calf injury that requires further testing because they're so unsure about what's going on with it, they're going to get him hurt and he's going to tear an Achilles tendon. So are they dumb enough to throw him out there? Maybe. That's why I can't say guaranteed. Because nothing's guaranteed because there's human error involved. But absolutely am I worried? Yes. Nothing is changing that. Calf injuries are brutal, and they oftentimes lead to further. It's usually a sign that there's, when it's chronic, not usually, it can be a sign that there's some potential Achilles irritation or problems. Doesn't always mean you're going to tear your Achilles tendon, but when you have calf injuries where they're just unsure what's going on and they're doing further testing and they can't get it under control, that's oftentimes your Achilles tendon and the compensation your calf is doing, and your calf keeps getting injured. You keep pulling your calf because your Achilles is actually bothering you. So, that's concerning. Do we know of anything for certain? No. Do we think he's out for the year? No. But could he be shut down? Definitely think that the tea leaves are there to read that potential outcome. Rank Kelsey and Joku and Jonu. I'm going to go Jonu, Kelsey, and Joku in that order. Pick 2, Garrett Wilson, Sutton, Judy, London. I'm going to go with Judy, and I'm going to go, and this comes back to the Sutton deserves to be considered here too. But Garrett Wilson and London, it's really tough. I think maybe London's got more risk and, maybe similar upside. Garrett Wilson, probably a little bit safer, but does London have a tiny bit more ceiling? Probably. And Smith or Andrews, you can't sit Jonu Smith, bro. It's not even a debate. All right, Charles, you're live.
Hey, how are you doing?
I'm good, bro.
Hey, I have a question. Would you keep Hunt or would you pick a Vidal or Ford?
Keep Hunt or get Vidal or Ford. I keep Hunt. Vidal's interesting though. Let me see a few things. Vidal's I like him. We liked him all off season. Maybe he's got more upside actually, moving forward. Hunt's gonna only lose. You know what? Give me the chance on Vidal. Give me the chance that Vidal gets more and more work. He only had 8 carries last week, 4.25 yards per carry, but it was a tough matchup against KC. I think Vidal's got the clear path. Go Vidal.
And one more, Winston or Goff?
Goff.
Okay.
He's been pretty solid. All right, later, bro. I just trust his offense too a lot more. Farb, you're live.
Yeah, man. I need to start two. I got McLaurin, McBride, Garendo, and Bucky. I need two.
I mean, you're waiting on the news, bro. Like, we can't call this yet. We have no idea on Bucky. We have no idea on Garendo. There's just no way. Like, I have to give you like 8 different shades of news variation to even answer that question. We just gotta wait. I think it starts with Garendo. If Garendo is like starting and there's no question at all, I think you do put him in, and then you make your second decision. But there's no way. You gotta wait. You're asking to predict things that we have no control over right now. All right, my boy. Call back when we got more information. All right, later. Farb. Oh, that was Farb. Unsure Johnny.
Hey, what's up? I just want to flex a little bit. I started off 2-5, and now I'm 8-6. And as of last week, I jumped from 7th to 5th to make the playoffs. But I have a few questions. I got to start one running back, one wide receiver, and one flex. I got A.J. Brown, Jennings, DeAndre Swift, Pacheco, Braylon Allen, Jalen Warren, and Xavier Worthy. And I need one running back, one wide receiver, one flex.
Probably Pacheco, AJB, and Jennings.
Even if Braylon plays?
Well, I mean, if Braylon is starting and let's say he's the only starter or something, then I think we could have that conversation. But right now, I think that's the safest combo.
Okay. All right, cool.
All right. Call back, though, if you got if we get closer and there's some more questions answered. All right, later. Briz, what's up, Briz? You're live. Yep.
I got 2 questions. First one, Brian Robinson Jr. or Jordan Addison?
Why would you even ask this question, bro?
I'm leaning Brian Robinson.
Why? The guy, like, you know what? You didn't start Addison last week, did you? You didn't. There's no way you started Addison last week. There's no way.
I played Addison last
There's
week.
no way.
No, I played.
There's no way. I call cap because if you played him, you'd be thanking your lucky stars over this situation, bro. How in the hell are you going to sit Addison after a 3 TD game for a guy I like? I'm not trying to crap on Brian Robinson Jr., bro, but what in the hell are you talking about?
If you look at the game before last week, he got 7 points. So I know, hey, trust me, I'm in this mix. But Brian Robinson against New Orleans, you know, he's projected more points, and that's why I'm like, you know, it's hard. Eckler's out. Washington's going for playoffs, and they're going to be playing hard.
Yeah, I don't know. What's everybody thinking here? Am I too hard on this question? Look, anything could happen. Could Brian Robinson Jr. outscore him? Yeah, but it doesn't even mean it's the right call anyway, bro. Like, at the end of the day, sure, you're going to play a hindsight game. Yeah, is there a better start? Yeah, you could always find that. But 9 times out of 10 coming off of this situation, it's the right call to go Addison. I don't care if it works out that way or not. This guy just dropped 3 touchdowns is in a rhythm like no other. Like, there's just no way. There's no way.
He did fall out against Chicago last time.
I don't think you started him. I don't think you started him. I don't believe it. I'm not trying to call you a liar. I'm saying I think you're misremembering, because there's no way in hell. The only reason the psychology of this, the only reason you root against somebody like that is because you want to be some sort of right about last week. You didn't start him.
Yeah.
Maybe you still advanced.
If Bucky Irving was healthy, I wouldn't have started him, but I did start him. So. Other question: BTJ or Devontae Smith?
Devontae Smith scored a touchdown last week. There's troubled waters in Philly. Devontae Smith may be reaping the benefits of that. I don't know. But anything can happen. It's a close call. All right, got to go, bro. Later. Nap, you're live.
What up, Smitty?
What's up?
All right, I got a quick basketball question. I'm in a marathon on underdog. 300K the first, 150 the second. If I finish, I'm in second right now. If I finish in second, I'm getting that 150K. Is it gonna have to go through like another round or what?
Well, I mean, if any tournament, it'll tell you. If you click on the info thing, it'll show you each. You know what first place gets, and if you, what type of tournament is it?
It's a marathon. It's from week 1 through
Marathon,
17.
yeah. So at the end of the marathon, at the end of week 17, whoever is in second gets second. It's not something you earn now. You're currently in certain positioning. So congrats, but you got to stay there.
Yeah, sure, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, thanks.
So say you're lucky, say some prayers and wish upon some lucky stars that you get some in. Oh, he's gone. Congrats anyway. Andy from Mass, what's up? You're live. Or hold on, Andy. Actually, hold on 1 second. I got to get Will's got a $20 hauler. I need to help Will.
Alert. Super chat alert.
All right. Will, appreciate you dropping the 20 wad. Will says, thanks for the entertainment and great advice all season, buddy. You were a huge part of many of our championship runs. You starting Debo Worthy or Palmer this week. I think I'm going to give Debo the nod here. It's not that I love the call, but these other calls are not any better. You know, there's some upside with Debo, and you know he's talking a lot of trash, and you know Purdy is such a agreeable person. When Purdy was interviewed yesterday, and they're like, you know, Debo says he wants to get the ball more. You know, Purdy knows how to put the fires out, and he's like, Debo's one of my best friends on this team, and he's right. He needs to get the ball more. So, I think they're going to try, you know, some design, especially if Garendo's out, they're going to have to do even more design runs and stuff for Debo. But I can't answer the question, is Debo done? Is the tread falling off of the tires, or is it really Shanahan just completely misusing him? It's hard to say. And Nostradamus, thank you again for the 20, bro. Mooney or Marv? I'm going to go Mooney for safety. Marv is a lot higher risk. There's maybe some, I don't want to say more upside than Mooney. Mooney's got the same kind of ceiling value. That's what makes Mooney just a better play, because they have the same, like, is there overlap? Could Marv outscore Mooney? Sure. But do they have the same kind of ceiling? Probably, and Mooney's just safer. And then Swift, Tracy, Stevenson need 2. Probably going to go Tracy and Stevenson. Addison or Garrett, I'm going to go Addison. And then should I go with B-Rob or Monty? I'd rather have Monty, even if you've got Gibbs. They've been fine all year together. It doesn't matter. Don't make a decision based off that. But awesome choices, my boy. And drop Watson for Braylon. It depends on the news if Braylon's going to get more work this week. So we were waiting on all the injury updates. But I would say I'm okay with either side of that, Watson or Braylon. Braylon still has value. I know everyone wants to run away from it, but Breece Hall, there's concern that he could get shut down for the year. Absolutely. So Braylon might not have the value, or he maybe didn't have the value last week, but he might have it this week. Or he might not have it this week again, and then people completely give up on him, and then he has a great final 2 weeks. It's hard to know. I know that Braylon Allen's, he would have huge success if they leaned upon him. I just don't know if they will. Starters, QB, Knicks, Achan, Dowdle, Puka, Scary Terry, Hawkinson. Let me get to these super chats in a second, because I'm going to clear the phone line off because the super chats are coming in and I'm going to get backed up. So, guys, quick answers only. I'm going to file all you off after about 10, 15 seconds. Who was it that I called upon first? Was it Andy or Jordan?
Yeah, it was Andy.
Andy, go ahead. You're live.
All right, first quick one, man. Watson or Dobbs?
Watson or Dobbs?
It's tough. I'm playing Jordan Love also. He's got Tyler Kraft, but, man, it's tough.
Watson.
Cool. And if I can, I just heard you break down Isaiah Davis. I really like him. I grabbed him. I got Taylor picked up last night. If Garendo is out, do I play Taylor or do I wait and see if Kenneth Walker plays?
I don't think Kenneth Walker will play. You never know. And again, if they shove him out there, then they're going to get him hurt. They're going to get him hurt.
Yeah.
No, I'm not saying it's going to have to work. I'm saying they're going to get him hurt, but so they could shove him out there. But I think you got to go Taylor. You got to take the starter. Unless you got another option that can bail you out. If Walker doesn't go, well, you still have, this player that I don't know about.
Isaiah Davis, Tyler Algier. I've been thinking about Justice Hill, but he's
I'd rather have Patrick Taylor if he's starting.
Cool, man. Appreciate it.
All right, later, bro. Jordan, 20 seconds.
Yo, what up, Smitty? How you doing?
What's up?
Are we playing? Would you rather play Bo Nix this week over Patrick Mahomes? What's your take on that? We got a rookie coming out of bye, and then Mahomes going to get his house.
Oh man, that's so tough.
And also, I mean, they're back to back in rankings. I mean, I think Bo Nix is ahead of him by a couple points.
Yeah.
Also, there's a lot of weather games this weekend, man. So there should be some good running back performances this week, and maybe even some low-end quarterback play.
Yeah, maybe. Including
the Mahomes game. It's supposed to rain in Cleveland, so
yeah,
I'm taking that into account. So
yeah, I'm probably leaning Bo Nix. But Mahomes. I think I've had this question a couple times this week. Mahomes is probably safer. But Nix probably has a little bit more risk, but has more ceiling, to get like a 3 TD game. But Mahomes is safer, but Bo Nix he does bring a little bit more potential.
Is he safer? Because Bo Nix does have the rushing line, the rush base line. So,
well, I mean,
is it really safer?
Is Bo Nix is Mahomes safer? You're saying?
No, I'm asking. I'm asking. Yes, is Patrick Mahomes really safer when Bo Nix has a better rushing baseline?
Mahomes. Yeah, Mahomes at any moment, bro. I know everybody wants to keep trashing him, but like he's been unbelievable.
Chiefs fan. I'm a Chiefs fan. It's not even a question.
It's just It's just they don't do anything for 2-3 quarters, and then they do it all at the end, and that's that. I think that a lot of the times, what's that? There's a lot of wind or someone breathing really heavy.
Somebody.
This is really, really heavy. I'll go Nick. I'll go Knicks for now. He's got a little bit. He's got a little bit more appeal. That's all I'll say. Is he safer? Who knows? I mean,
last question.
Tomato.
I'm gonna ask you this every day, every they play. Sutton or AJ Brown?
Sutton or AJ Brown? I'm gonna go AJ Brown. But you could get that wrong every week. They're very, very close. It's a very close call. Sutton's been absolutely unreal, and given the fact that you're picking Knicks, you're kind of banking on Knicks to do well. But I don't think I could sit AJ Brown. All right, gotta go, bro. All right, appreciate you. Let's see here. Rock out. You're live.
Yeah. Would you play? I need two. Pacheco, Brian Thomas Jr. or Devontae Smith. Need two.
Pacheco, Brian Thomas Jr., Devontae Smith. I'm going to go Devontae Smith and probably Pacheco.
Oh, even against Steelers?
Yeah. I mean, I think Devontae Smith. I mean, BTJ's got what? Maybe 60 yards and 4 receptions in him.
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of what he does. And it's not his fault, but I don't know.
Yeah.
All right, rock out. Appreciate you. If I come back live, call back in.
All right.
Later. Daniel, 20 seconds,
Smitty,
go.
Who would you rather roster? Vidal or Isaiah Davis?
Vidal or Davis? I don't know that I trust Davis, bro. I'd probably go Vidal.
Vidal, okay. And do you think Tillman is droppable?
Yeah. It depends on who you're picking up. It's a general question, vague question, but I mean, Tillman's.
You got Keon Coleman on the wire.
Sure, I suppose. But, it's close, but I'd rather have Coleman. All right, later, bro. All right, later. All right, Salty Penguin, appreciate your $20 hauler, my bro.
Alert. Super chat alert.
Monster coming in strong. Thanks for the entertainment. Please help set this lineup. 1 QB. I'm going to go Tua here for safety. He's been playing well. 2 running backs, Barkley, Monty, Bucky, Patrick Taylor. Going to go Barkley and Monty pretty easily. Your 2 wide receivers are going to be Jamar Chase and Waddle, assuming he plays. And you're starting, let's see here. Your tight end, you're going to go McBride. McBride, not even a hesitation. He's banged up, but I think he'll play. I'm not worried about it. And with 2 flex spots as well, you're going to fill those with Bucky if he plays. And Patrick Taylor if he starts. And if Patrick Taylor doesn't start and Bucky doesn't play, I mean, you're just struggling to scrap it together, bro, with whoever you can. Wandell and, I mean, I guess Gray. But hopefully it doesn't come to that. Hopefully at least one of Bucky or Taylor start for you, and then you just need to grab one more, which would be pretty much decided for you. But hopefully everybody's healthy. Love the squad. I think you'll be fine. And congrats, my bro. Handed big scoring league. Lots of bonuses. JD5 or Darnold. I think you got to go. God. Guys, Darnold earned the start, right? JD5 might be a top 3 to 5 QB play, though. But how do you sit Darnold? How do you sit Darnold right now? Can I get a vote on this? Darnold or JD5? Let's get the chat vote. What 2 defenses or top 1 to go with? Austin, you need to give me more than this. What 2 defenses or top 1 to go with? I don't know who's available, bro. Like, we've been saying Washington's a really good pickup and play, like a top 5 defensive play this week, and they're available in a majority of leagues, but I don't know what you want me to say on that. Like, I have no information as for what D's I'm looking at. Like, you want me to just rank the top 2 defenses? How does that help you? But to pick up, I would say Washington is probably the best defense to find right now on the wire. Any good pickups for Thursday? Or give me a list and I can give you my answer. Any good picks for Thursday night's game on Underdog? We'll do that tomorrow. Gaming. We'll have that tomorrow. I always do that going into the game. Starters, QBs, Knicks, Achane, Dowdle, wide receiver Puka, Scary Terry, Hawkinson, flex, Garrett Wilson, bench, Breece Hall, Braylon Allen, Keenan Allen, Sharps. Any changes? Yeah, Sharps needs to be in there somehow. Would I start Sharps over Dowdle? I would, assuming he starts. And then do you put Dowdle in the flex play over Garrett Wilson? That might be the dilemma. So if you're going to vote on, guys, do we go Garrett Wilson or Dowdle? I'd probably say Dowdle is maybe safer, but I'm starting Charbonnet in my running back 2 spot if he's starting. And if not, you have everything, proper. Now, Breece Hall plays, which I don't think he will, but if Breece Hall plays, you could almost certainly put Breece Hall in your running back 2, and then Sharps goes in your flex, and then you sit Dowdle and Garrett Wilson. But, yeah, I don't know. Chat, what did the chat vote on the JD5? JD5. Man, JD5 won the vote. He is a higher ranked play, like overall. JD5 by a hair is logically a better start this week. But if you have Darnold and you played him last week and you got the points, like how do you sit him? I'd probably lean JD5 by a hair. Starters, QB, Knicks, Achane, Dowdle, Puka. Oh, I already did this one, right? Hawkinson, any changes? Yeah, that one I already did. Love or Stafford? Love or Stafford? Woo. I hate Thursday games though, bro. I'm gonna go Love in that scenario. I like Stafford, but I'm gonna go Love. Patrick Taylor or Stevenson. If Patrick Taylor's starting, I'd go Patrick Taylor for upside or for a higher risk, higher reward. And then if you want a little safer, go Stevenson, I suppose. And Ertz, Pat, Freiermuth, I assume, or Otten. I'm gonna go Otten personally. Pat's not bad though. I would go Otten. Otten for me. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate you all. I probably will be back tonight. Can't guarantee it, but I will try my best to be back tonight. We built this Smitty on graveyard shows, so graveyard shows we try and do as much as we can. Thank you for all the phone calls. Thank you for all the super chatters. Thank you for the $20 haulers. We had Salty Penguin. Appreciate you. Will, appreciate your super chat, Will. Will to the motherfreaking moon. What's the word? Appreciate you, my boy, Will. John E. Appreciate John E. dropping the supers. Appreciate everybody that dropped the super, but specifically I wanted to say thank you to you $20 hauler droppers. Fantastic. You guys go to freaking Saturn.
To Saturn.
The rest of you still go to Mars. Don't worry. Don't worry. To Mars. I'll see you all a little later. Appreciate you. Live Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern, every single Monday through Friday. Additionally, live whenever big news breaks. If I missed anybody's super chat or got one wrong or something, just comment. Not in the live chat, in the comment section. Tell me and I'll get to it. Appreciate you.